Hey everyone, this video goes along with the week 2 activity. Just giving you the follow-up for the second 2 word problems. I already did a video on number 1 and number 2, as you can see here, just to remind you. You also, if you were in the hybrid, we did these together in class. So I just want to jump right up to number 3 here. We're going to do the solutions. You have the key, but just to make sure you get all the steps if you weren't, confident with it. So in 2010, there were 132 species of birds and reptiles on the endangered species list. If there were 52 more species of birds than reptiles on the list, how many of each were on the list? So first, let's go through the problem. You kind of, consider what's happening. What are you trying to find? So in this one, I'm trying to find out how many species of each were on the list. So I have to think about, what do I know least about in this problem? If there were 52 more species of birds, so I'm giving some more information about birds than I am reptiles. So I'm going to let X equal the number of reptile species. Okay, and then I'm going to look for how I can represent the 52 more species of birds. So I want to think of, there's 52 more than reptiles. So it would be reptiles, which is X, plus 52 more equals number of species of birds on the list. So it is just this specific list, but you can kind of just track that from the problem. You don't have to write everything out, but the more descriptive you are in this part right here, the more helpful it is on how you interpret and know that you've actually answered the question. So now we're thinking about how to translate that. Let's write a little phrase here just to say the number of species of reptiles plus number of species, and I'm abbreviating here, birds, equals the total on list. Okay, or total together of those two types of things. So then we're going to write our equation. So we have X reptiles plus X plus 52 birds. Now, a lot of times we put parentheses around there just to group them together, so we know that represents birds as a whole there. However, because I have a plus here, I really actually didn't need them, but if I had anything else besides a +1 there on the outside of my parentheses, I would totally need it. And then it's 132 total of birds and reptiles. So we could write that here, birds and reptiles, right? Now we're going to go ahead and solve. So we can just kind of remove our parentheses on this one because we're distributing a +1. So I would have 2x plus 52 equals 132. Then I would go ahead and solve that out. So 2x equals 132 minus 52. You can just do that off to the side if you want there, or just do it in your head, that's fine. Divide both sides by 2, and I would get, for my answer, I would get x equals 40. Well, what is x? We have to look back here and see that that is the number of reptiles on the, or number of species of reptiles. So there were 40 reptile species on the list. And how many birds? So birds is up here. X plus 52 is the birds. So that would be 40 plus 52 equals 92 birds. Okay, so we need to add that in here, and 92 birds on the list. So that's my complete answer here in a sentence. Okay, now for the number 4, we're looking at the length of a rectangle is 7 inches longer than the width. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 62 inches, find the measures of the length and the width. So the first thing we want to write down is our perimeter formula. Perimeter is adding up all the sides. So we would have 2 lengths and we would have 2 widths. Okay, so I'm going to draw just a little box here to help me see what's going on in the problem. So I would have my length here is 7 inches longer than the width. So I'm going to call these ends the width, and this is going to be my width plus 7 equals my length, or in this case L, right? So what I know least about is the width. I don't have any information other than just I have a width, but I do have more information about the length in relation to the width. So I'm going to call X will be the width. And you can actually leave it as W, which I like to often do, but I'll put it in as X for this problem. And then is there something else we're looking for? Yes, we need to find the length also. So the length is going to be W plus 7 in parentheses. Okay, so this time it's important to really have those parentheses. It's always you want to put them in first. It's how you distribute. Like in the last problem, we could just remove them because we were really just distributing a positive 1, but here we're not doing that. So translate, so we have our formula here, P equals twice the length plus twice the width. Now for the perimeter is 62, twice the length, remember length is this, W plus 7. Okay, but W is X, so I'm going to go ahead and put X. And then, but again, you could just leave it as W if you want. And then twice the width, which is X in this case. Now I'm going to go ahead and distribute and just do the math. 62 equals 2X plus 14 plus 2X. And now I'm going to solve that out. And I get 62 equals 4X plus 14. And I need to subtract the 14 from both sides. So I'm just going to do a little aside over here. You can use a calculator, it's totally fine. So then I get 48 equals 4X. Divide both sides by 4. And I get X equals 12. Now make sure you know which one that represents. That is the width, right? So the width is 12. And what units? Was I given any units? Yeah, inches. So I need to write that. And the length, how do I figure that out? Would be to look over here. I got that all written out in that first step there. So it's W plus 7. So X plus 7, or actually maybe I write X plus 7. X plus 7 up there, just to be real clear. X plus 7 is going to be 12 plus 7, which is going to be 19 inches. Okay, so I've got it all laid out there in a sentence. I've got all my steps. So I have my match up to what I wrote up here. Make sure I answer the question. And then also think, does that work? Well, let's check it. So we could do a little verification here. Verify, or you may hear I say check. So we say perimeter, remember, was 62. And then if I have twice the width was 12 plus twice the length is 19. Does that add up to 62? And you will get 62. So we'll have 2 times 12 is 24. 2 times 19 will give me 38. Are those equal? And we can see here, when we add those up, we do get 62. Okay, so it works. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.